Hi, welcome to another video. So there are so many command lines tools launching in the market, but there is a brand new player in town that's seriously changing the game. I am talking about Qwen Code, which is the incredible CLI tool that just launched alongside Alibaba's latest Qwen 3 coder model. Let me tell you, this is not just another CLI tool trying to copy what everyone else is doing. When I first heard about it, I thought, okay, there is another one jumping in the market after Cloud and all the others. But after spending some time with it, I realized this thing is actually pretty special. It's been specifically designed to work with the Qwen Code coder model, and the results are honestly mind-blowing. What really caught my attention is that Qwen 3 coder is not just competing with the big names like Claude or GPT-4. In many benchmarks, it's actually beating them. We are talking about an open source model which is competing with the best models out there. The model comes with 480 billion parameters, but here is the clever part. It only uses 35 billion parameters during inference, which means you get incredible performance without needing a supercomputer to run it. Now before I show you how to set everything up, let me explain why this matters. If you are a developer like me, you probably tired of switching between different tools and interfaces. Sometimes you just want to stay in your terminal and get things done quickly. That's exactly what Qwen Code lets you do. It can understand your entire codebase, help you refactor code, generate new features, and even handle complex workflow automatically. The setup process is very straightforward, which is refreshing because some of these tools can be a real pain to install. First thing you need to do is make sure you have Node.js installed on your computer. If you don't have it yet, just head over to the Node.js website and grab the latest version. I always recommend getting the LTS version because it's the most stable one. Once you have got Node.js installed, the installation process is just one simple command. You literally just run npm install -g at qwen/code and that's it. The whole thing takes maybe a minute or two depending on your internet connection. I remember when I first installed it, I was expecting some complicated setup process with configuration files everywhere. But no, it's really that simple. After the installation finishes, you can verify everything worked by running qwen --version. This will show you which version you have installed. It will show you the current version for the Qwen code, but they are updating it pretty frequently, so you might see a newer version. Now here is where things get interesting. Before you can start using Qwen code, you need to set up your API configuration. This is probably the trickiest part of the whole setup, but I will walk you through it step by step. You basically have two main options for getting API accesses. If you are in mainland China, you can apply directly through Alibaba's platform. For everyone else, including me, the easiest way is to use OpenRouter. I personally went with OpenRouter because it's super convenient and works really well. You just need to create an account and add some credits and generate an API key. The cool thing about OpenRouter is that it gives you access to tons of different models as well. So if you want to experiment with other models later on, you are already set up. Once you have your API key, you need to configure three environment variables. First is the OpenAI API, which sounds a little bit confusing, but that's just what they call it, even though you are using OpenRouter. And second is the base URL. This is the base URL for OpenRouter. You can get this from the description as well. And third one is the model name. You can grab the model name from OpenRouter and paste it here. Yeah, I know that's a mouthful, but you can just copy and paste it. I like to put all these in a .env file in my project directory. That's why I don't have to keep setting them every time. Just create a file called .env, add these three variables and you are good to go. Now let's actually try to use this thing. When you run the Qwen command for the first time, it will start up and you will see a nice interface where you can type your prompts. The first thing I always do is just say hi to make sure everything working fine. It should respond with something friendly and ask how it can help you with your project. One of my favorite thing about Qwen code is how natural the interaction feels. You don't need to learn any special syntax or command, you just type what you want in plain English. Want to create a game? Just ask it. Need help understanding a complex code base? It's got you covered. Let me show you a real example. The other day I asked it to create a tic-tac-toe game with the nice animation and styling. It literally just created the complete game in HTML in a nice design and animation. What impressed me was that it did not just dump a basic implementation. It created a complete game with a beautiful interface, smooth animations and all the game logics properly implemented. It's not just about generating new code from scratch. Where it really excels is working with the existing project. I have this React.js project and it's gotten pretty complex with lots of components and state management. I wanted to see if Qwen Code could understand the architecture and help me add new features. So I navigated to my project directory and started Qwen Code there. Then I asked it to analyze the entire codebase and explain the architecture. What happened next was amazing. It started reading through every single file in the project, package.json, configuration file, and all other components as well. Right after 30 seconds, it gave me a comprehensive overview of my project structure. It correctly recognized my Tailwind CSS setup, understood my component hierarchy, and even picked up the design pattern I was using. It explained how the different parts of the application work together, identified the main feature, and even suggested some potential improvements as well. This level of understanding from an AI tool is something I have not seen before. Another thing to keep in mind is that Qwen Code can be quite wordy in its responses. Sometimes I just want a quick answer or a small code snippet, but it gives me a detailed explanation with multiple paragraphs. This can be helpful when you are learning something new, but it can also slow you down when you just want to get something done quickly. I have found that being more specific in your prompts help. Instead of saying explain this function, I will say briefly explain what this function does in one sentence. The integration with existing tools is something Alibaba clearly thought about. Since Qwen Code is forked from Gemini CLI, it inherits a lot of the same features and compatibility. You can use a MCP server if you want to extend its functionality. You can integrate it with your existing development workflow. And since it's a open source, the community is already starting to build plugins and extensions for it. One feature I really appreciate is the ability to customize your interactions using a qwen.md file. This is like a configuration file where you can set up custom prompts and behaviors for your specific project. For example, if you are working on a React project, you can tell Qwen Code to always use functional component with hooks. Or if you prefer a certain coding style, you can specify that in the configuration file. This means Qwen Code adapts to your preferences rather than forcing you to adapt to it. The performance of the underlying Qwen 3 coder model is genuinely impressive. In benchmark test, it's showing results that matches or exceed Claude Sonnet and GPT-4 in many coding tasks. What's even more impressive is that it's doing this while being completely open source. This means you are not locked into a proprietary ecosystem. You can run it locally if you have the hardware, modify it for your needs, or even contribute to its development. For those of you wondering about the technical details, the model uses a mixture of expert architecture. This is a clever approach where different parts of the model specializes in different tasks. It automatically routes your request to the most appropriate expert. This is why it can handle such a wide variety of coding tasks so well. Whether you are asking about front-end development, back-end APIs, database design, it has specialized knowledge in all these areas. The context window is another standout feature. Natively, it supports 256,000 tokens, which is already huge, but with some clever techniques, it can extend that to 1 million tokens as well. To put that in a perspective, that's enough to hold entire codebase in memory. This is why it can understand and work with large projects so effectively. It's not just looking at one file at a time, it's considering your entire project holistically. If you are thinking about trying Qwen Code, here is my advice. Start small. Don't try to rebuild your entire application in one day. Instead, use it for specific tasks. Maybe ask it to help you understand a tricky piece of code, or have it generate some boilerplates for a new feature. As you get more comfortable, you can start using it for bigger tasks as well. So I'm really excited about where this technology is going. We are seeing a fundamental shift in how we interact with new development tools. We can just describe what we want in natural language. It's making programming more accessible and more productive at the same time. The fact that Alibaba made this open source is huge. It means the community can build on it, improve it, and adapt it for specific use cases. I would not be surprised if we see specialized versions for different frameworks and languages in the coming months. Imagine a version of this model specifically tuned for React.js development, or one that's optimized for only backend API design. So for now, if you want to get started with Qwen Code, the process is simple. Install Node.js, run the npm install command, set up your API key through OpenRouter or model scope, and start coding. The whole setup takes maybe around 10 minutes, and then you have access to one of the most powerful AI coding systems available today. So that's it from the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next one.